this is a great movie, right? So American Fiction. So it's
Oh,
about a black professor, right? And this black professor is all like, he he's got a book title about white inwards, and Danger Hair gets all uppity about it in
wait,
his class.
is Sargon in this movie?
No, 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 no. So he's like saying, listen, I don't understand why everybody's so GD sensitive. And they're like, you told another kid in one of your other classes, yes, if his parents were Nazis. I said, well, listen, he was German, and the way he was acting, it probably were. And so there's a university he works for. They said, listen, you're going on a mandatory vacation. Then his whole family life falls apart. He needs to make some money. So he sends to his agent a shit post. All of the most reductive, garbage trends in black literature. He throws them together into a single book. He gets a $750,000 advance. And he eventually ends up judging it in a literary contest, and he then just walks away, and people all hate him for it. And the movie ends with him, right, writing the screenplay for this movie. So the fictional book author for this movie that he was portraying was a fugitive, and the title of the book was simply F, the F word, and Stagleg was the name of the thing. So the movie of the
Wait,
within the movie,
which F word?
the F word,
You know which word.
No.
the F word with 4 letters in it.
Oh, okay.
And so the movie about the story that's happening in the movie ends with the police shooting this respected black literary academic uh, because of the character he creates for the book. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. The literary black academic gets
You
shot.
motherfucker.
And the other interesting thing in this movie is there's a female black academic who went to a little place called Oberlin College, uh, and then went to work for an elite white publishing house, and so she made garbage black books. And he was like, went to her in one scene, like saying, "Well, how's this any different from your books?" And she said, "Listen, I like talk to real people, and I made these things. Yes, these things that satisfy white trends, but I actually put in the work to write it. You just and she didn't know it was him, so, but she also agreed with him that it was a shit post. But this book won the award because this was a jury of 6 people, of which 2 were black, and all the white people thought it was amazing because it was so important and it spoke to our times.
Okay, so new plan. Rune, we're gonna get you some shoe polish. All right. And you're gonna have to work
No.
on your accent. Okay.
No.
Just a second, just a second. We forgot to put this up when we were talking about
we
this. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. So yeah, so there's no church today because church is flying to another city to play cards with his friend.
We've been live. We've been live slightly less than 4 minutes, and we already super racist. This is
You're
not a
welcome.
good
Oh,
statement.
but hold up, Rune. This isn't super racist. This is a black person making fun of white people's use of racism porn in popular culture. So
no,
we're actually
because
not being racist.
Because Ayrton burped a ceiling bird, and he knows exactly what he was doing.
Hey, my ceilings are really tall and I don't have a ladder. All right. I also didn't eat breakfast this morning. So,
Well, why didn't you eat breakfast this morning?
because I had to work till midnight last night and then at 8 in the morning this morning. So I slept for like an hour and a half.
Oof.
Because I also had to stay up to watch the UFC pay-per-view after work.
No, you didn't have to stay up to watch UFC pay-per-view. You chose to stay up to watch UFC pay-per-view.
No. Listen, the main card was Sean O'Malley defending his title for bantamweight in the UFC against I can't remember the guy's. I can never remember the dude's first name, but Cheeto is his nickname, who is the only person to knock O'Malley out in a previous round. So it was a big grudge match, and it was a belt fight, and it was fantastic. It went all 5 rounds, and it was brutal. It was awesome. Dude got kneed in the face so hard it sounded like hitting a tree with a baseball bat. It was wild.
Now I do want to get into my next review. I'm going to put up the banner for this one. So this is a movie. It's made by feminists in a way that's meant to advance feminist narratives. So you know who Millie Bobby Brown is, right, Ayrton?
No.
You've heard of a little show called Stranger Things, right?
That's the one with the weird bald chick that has like powers.
So this is her, right? So Netflix and some other streamers have decided they're going to make movies with her as an action film protagonist. I'm not going to say protagonist because it's really a Mr. Plinkett protagonist kind of situation.
I mean, are we going to do some deep anal, sis?
I mean, we would, except this isn't really a deep movie.
No, it's going to be very, very shallow surface layer anal, sis.
So the first one of these movies,
so you're saying just the tip, Ayrton?
Yes,
just the tip, exactly.
Okay.
So the first one of these movies, and the first one of these movies we reviewed on here, was about a princess who decided to F her familial obligations and F her arranged marriage. So the guy who was supposed to marry her decided to marry her by force. Captured the castle, killed a whole bunch of people. And so she John McClaned her way through the castle to save her family. I mean, yeah. So it's like a 100-something pound little girl beating up people in plate mail art.
What?
And also, And also, for some reason, she had a Chinese lady that taught her martial arts. Because of course she did. For some reason, she had a Chinese lady that taught her martial arts.
When was this supposed to take place?
In a vaguely fantasy era, like 11th, 12th century.
Well, if bad Robin Hood movies, if bad Robin Hood movies with Jamie Foxx have taught me anything, apparently the medieval world was just as cosmopolitan as it is today, and everybody just traveled from everywhere. So I can't say you couldn't have some random Chinese lady in a non-specific Eurocentric world teaching martial arts because, hey, it's just a movie, guys.
Right.
I mean, and there was totally a black samurai, and he wasn't just a slave that the shoguns just dressed up in armor as a gag to parade around.
I mean, that guy, at least there's a whole lot of contentious history on it. I mean, he was an interesting character.
Yeah, that guy at least had an actual world history that was interesting, was not a diversity quota character for a fiction.
So let me lay out this movie that hates women more than
we do.
Well, no, we like women. We love women, especially Church because he's married to one. So our main character comes from a family that lives in a poor northern European area. In fact, they are so poor the nobility is having to sell all of their fancy stuff to feed the people, which is pretty poor. And also, inexplicably, it's a multiracial, multi-ethnic, medieval fantasy European society. But that's not even really offensive in this movie.
With demographics vaguely similar and likened onto Southern LA.
Or Seattle.
And the same economic issues. Huh.
Right. The black lady was the stepmother. And the reason
God damn it, Ayrton, I will fucking find you.
She became promoted to the nobility because her family were the best rope makers in their whole kingdom. And this is an important plot point that'll show up later in the movie.
I too aspire to be a great rope maker, but for different reasons that I probably shouldn't talk about online.
You use a different mechanism.
So it just so happens that a mysterious royal family from a place far away wants to have their prince marry this person's daughter.
Is
And
he from Bel Air?
he is not. He is not. And they notice some things are strange when they see an actual dragon. And then they go there. It's a ginormous castle. And during the bride price negotiations, the family that requested our main character to be married to their son gave a metric shload of gold. More gold than the father was able to ever imagine in his life. And, everything seems normal. Kids get married. And as part of the marriage ritual, they throw the bride into a pit where there's a dragon.
As you do. We've all been there.
Yes. Turns out the founders of this kingdom murdered the dragon's children. And so as a payment for the dragon not destroying their kingdom, they have to throw in daughters. So they're lying to the dragon.
I mean, never mind. The dragon is well smart enough to recognize us for what it is, and it just doesn't mind getting a free meal.
She's somebody's daughter.
You see, they figured out a trick where you do the blood brother thing, where like you slice open your hands and you mix your blood together, and the dragon gets confused and thinks you're one of the local nobility.
So is the blood sister ritual where they scissor while on their periods?
No. This is done with the prince.
Every so often, I think you can't go lower, and then you find new levels of gross. The fuck?
And, so
how long have you known me, Rune? Like, come on.
So
long enough to regret
it. Falls down a cave, gets all sorts of cool wounds, gets chased by a dragon, gets burned by a dragon, finds magic glow slugs in the cave, which eat the results of the dragon fire and have healing properties, which is nice. I mean,
isn't that convenient?
Someone almost escaped the dungeon with a dragon in it and provided a map on the wall. But surprise, that person got burned by the dragon. And the dragon allowed that to be caught up to give the princesses some hope. But it turns out the father realized, oh, I sold my daughter for money, and that was kind of shitty of me. Both of these movies have a thing about arranged marriages and bride prices, and they're like really super against those.
Can we point out that we live in modernity where outside of the third world, arranged marriages and bride prices are generally not done or frowned upon?
Can we also point out
gypsy communities, those are still things.
Well, and statistically, in like Indian stuff where you still have arranged marriages, those marriages tend to be like more stable and successful versus in the West in the past
because of the social capital component.
I'm only bringing up the very important point that it is very particular that people from a first world nation who have never experienced this particular negativity, who will never understand the levels of its influence or effect, but also do not come from cultures where it's an accepted social currency concept and people are accepting of it and it's a component of their society, feel that they are entitled to comment on it like experts and preach at you that it's bad.
Yep.
I find that very interesting.
And
they Googled it, Rune.
They did. Our main
oh, you mean like
father,
that bitch at the airport?
Yes. Yes, exactly like that. So the main character's father dies. Gets stabbed in the chest by a dragon, which is a gruesome way to die. She escapes.
Wait,
She
did you
gets
say he
on.
was stabbed in the chest by the dragon?
Yeah, like the dragon using its talon pierced his armor and into his chest,
With just like one? Like he poked
just
him?
like one,
Like he
just
poked
like
him with
one.
one claw?
Yes, this is a large dragon. The princess temporarily escapes, and the dragon just starts, putting the sky on fire because the dragon hadn't gotten her second of three promised princesses murdered, and she was upset. Uh, so the evil queen looks at her husband and says, "You're too incompetent to solve this problem." Goes back to the boat where the stepmother is, kidnaps the convenient other daughter, who's the sister of our main character, and throws her in for the dragon to eat her. So our main character has to go back into the dungeon to murder the dragon.
I'm already so lost on the schizo rant of a movie.
Well, no. It's like I said, this isn't a really deep movie. She severely f's up the dragon and then says, "You know what? No, I'm not going to kill you. Instead, I'm going to heal you so we can murder the people whose families screwed us both over." Um, the prince is about to marry the third bride, so he can sacrifice her to the dragon and then be free of the arrangement and be able to do what he wants. And then she's like, "No, all y'all are getting melted by the dragon." And then
Do they play the Trogdor song?
we should have. They should have.
I
I
also love this idea of people trying to create the aesthetics and feel of a fairy tale while not understanding that fairy tales have to be simple, motherfucker. And so they overcomplicate it with needlessly stupid fiddly bits.
You see, to me, this is all pretty simple. Because nothing really happens.
All right. Let me make sure I got this right now. We're gonna have to sacrifice 3 princesses to the dragon, but we've sacrificed many other princesses to the dragon because we made a deal with the dragon because we killed the dragon's kid. But it was bad of us to do that because we traded our daughter for money and power because bad. We also have a girl who's John McClane. No, it's pretty fucking complicated in a needless way, Larry.
It's convoluted. So there's 2 royal families. The one with the dragon sacrifice, they're the bad ones. They're bad because they have lots of money.
No, they're all bad.
Well, no, in this movie, the poor ones are good.
No, because they clearly did the bad because they were going to sell their daughter off into.
Harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
Yes. No. The poor ones are bad too because they're part of the system. The only one that's good is our very special main character, super chick with combat powers, who's going to fight and save the day. Because why don't we just burn the bad guys? I know how this writing goes because I write better than a half-ass, so of course I can recognize stupid when I see it.
Now, the ending sequence of this movie is our main character, her sister, and their stepmother agreeing to set their village up and have a good rope making concern, and everybody lives happily ever after, including the dragon.
Making rope. That's your aspiration. I was a princess and I had all the privileges, but I really want to live in a fucking hovel and make rope.
Well, no, she didn't have all the privileges. She only had them for like a day and a half before she got thrown into a dragon pit.
I keep forgetting I still don't have the Kami gobbledygook soundbite on my board.
Because this character didn't exist until she was a 20-something. And was not raised in luxury.
She wasn't, because her family was always, in declining wealth, so they were selling off their assets to take care of their people.
Being in declining wealth is still having wealth, and let me tell you, that's pretty fucking comfortable.
I mean, she was so poor, she had to chop her own wood.
Oh no, her own wood. So the peasant that has to chop their wood for them is equal, right? I'm just a multimillionaire. I'm just like you, honest. Sure thing, Warren Buffett. I believe you. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. Okay.
It's like when politicians go to like a local diner that they would never in a million years actually eat at and say like, "Oh, the pie here is so good,"
All right.
and like take
No.
a bite on the campaign trail.
Context is fucking king. Not context is for kings. Not context optional. Context is the king. If your main character is a fucking princess and is not specifically a noble woman in hiding, living the commoner life because if she's outed, she will be murdered, right? Then no, she
Babe.
was living the noble life as a noble person. Oh, I wasn't the ultimate noble. I wasn't the wealthiest noble. Woe is me. I had a rough time. Ugh. You're still fucking noble. You still had all the benefits. You still have the privileges. You still have actual education, whereas the people that you minister over do not. Because guess what? The feudal world sucked, monarchy is awful, and peasantry is a terrible existence.
You know what? You know what's funny, Rune?
What?
The third leg of the triad I have for this review sequence is going to be beautifully dovetailing with
Larry, keep your
Okay.
third leg to yourself.
that. Look, I would, but it's too large. The third leg has to go out. But no. So it's a little TV show called The Gentleman. I know what you're thinking. Wasn't The Gentleman a Guy Ritchie movie? Yes, but this is The Gentleman. It's a Guy Ritchie TV show.
Oh, I heard a
And
Spotify ad about this.
so here's our premise. We got a British nobleman who is currently working in the British military for a UN peacekeeping operation in Syria. And then he finds out, your dad's probably going to die soon. We need to fly you back to the family estate. And his dad dies. He ends up inheriting things out of proper order. Now, when they wrote this, they didn't write all the legalese of that properly, so I'm, wasn't complaining. Just like, but no, that's not how that works. Even though they did have a character in the thing saying that's not how that works, and the lawyer said, well, actually, kind of does in this one instance. And the Duke trying to figure out how to do his family's business. An American douchebag businessman wants to, buy the estate, and then he finds out, oh wait, there's a giant weed farm under my estate, and I can't sell it because violent criminals are involved in it. And oh, by the way, my brother owes £8 million to some very violent criminals. And it's a 10-episode Guy Ritchie thing. So every episode is your standard Guy Ritchie crime problem with setup, twist, payoff, and resolution. And
do I know who Guy Ritchie is?
Oh, you remember Snatch?
No.
Movie with
I mean, I try to forget my ex, but
no, I'm talking about the movie with Brad Pitt in it.
No,
where he was an Irish traveler and a bare knuckle boxer.
I actually don't think I've ever seen a movie that has Brad Pitt in it.
Guy Ritchie's done a lot of gritty British crime stuff.
He also did the Sherlock Holmes movies.
He also did the Sherlock Holmes movies. And also he was, maybe still is, married to Madonna.
Oh, that poor man.
So, things I like about this TV series is you have a good interplay between our main male character and our main female character, who's the experienced criminal, and the young Duke learns, number one, how to be a criminal. Number two, he learns, realistically, the British monarchy were always criminals.
Wait, hold on. I was just looking him up, and there's a picture of him with Madonna. Are we sure this isn't just a blow-up doll of Madonna that he totes around and just claims he's married to her?
No. Madonna has had some plastic surgery problems. You see, there's probably the ethics of plastic surgery where people should be told to stop, and no one's told Madonna to stop. The show has, a lot of stock Guy Ritchieisms. Like there's a cocaine syndicate in Liverpool, run by extremely religious Christians. There is a
Because of course there is.
well, yeah, it's Jesus's preferred cocaine dealer. Jesus is in charge of the crime operations. You have lots of boxing related stuff and gambling through boxing related stuff. You got Irish travelers. You got a Russian mob thing. All of it's very good. And the character who played the father of the girl and the princess thing was also one of the central criminal characters here. He's the guy who played the British Scouse Russian mobster in Black Widow. They didn't even try to get him to do a Russian accent because it was bad. In fact,
I didn't see that movie either.
I think there was a scene where one of the characters does a Russian accent. That's actually a little dig about trying to get this guy Ray Winston to do a Russian accent. And in standard Guy Ritchie fashions, our protagonists, because they're cool, end up having all of the correct criminal plays fall one by one, like dominoes. And this is something really good because it shows a lot of what Rune and I would call in the vampire game we're in, the social game, where the Duke goes to a crime boss and says, listen, I screwed you over, but I actually screwed you over in a way that helps us both. So if we work together, we're both going to end up coming out of this a lot better. The people I'm using to screw you over with will end up getting it in the end.
So just like used car salesman.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's a subplot where the guy who gets disinherited of the royal estates decides his calling in life is to become a marijuana botanist, where he's working on combining marijuana with cocoa plants to make chocolate flavored marijuana.
I'd rather be a cocaine botanist.
Chocowana.
The main guy who's the botanist for the marijuana, he accidentally screws everybody else over by falling in love with a spy. And there's lots of cool stuff if you like Guy Ritchie-isms. It's a good time. It's a good time. I enjoy it and I recommend it. So, Rune, Aaron, have you watched anything on the television or on the movies?
I did bring something for show and tell, actually. I watched Kung Fu Panda 4 because that was the only movie I knew that was coming out when I saw my schedule that I'd be able to show up tonight. And it was boring as fuck. Like,
it's a soulless cash grab.
Should have known.
Okay, well the first two are like fantastic movies. The third one I don't really remember.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll give it a shot. You know, it was so lame. Like, obviously, it's a ridiculous premise, especially having Jack Black play a panda that does kung fu. But like the first two movies, like the stories were fun. They had heart to them. Like you could tell, like a lot of care went into making the films and stuff. And this one was just so modern, like movie by committee. Like every single thing that happened was so obvious that it was going to happen. What's her tits? Aquafina. She plays the foil, I guess. She's like, so she plays a fox who like grew up in the streets of the big city and is like a thief and stuff, and she shows up into Jack Black's little village thing and tries to like steal some artifacts from the temple, and he stops her. And just before that, the old grumpy kung fu master guy says he has to choose his successor as the dragon warrior, and he doesn't want to do that. And then the two of them then go on this journey to try and hunt down the main big bad villain, who's a chameleon who like can actually transform into other things. And they do their little hijinks getting to the city and stuff, and then shock, she was actually working for the chameleon person to steal his special spirit staff thing, and she betrays him.
No.
Oh, but no, then the chameleon lady is gonna kill him, so then she double crosses the chameleon lady and then saves him, and then as if we didn't see it coming, she's gonna be the successor to the dragon warrior title, and it's so gay, so dumb. And like it, and the comedic timing felt off too. Like, again, it's been a long time since I've seen like the original, like the first two, but I remember like the comedic timing being like good, like a classic Jack Black movie. And there was just no timing in it. The writing sucked. Every single thing. I wish I had an alarm clock sound. Oh, I have this sound. There we go. Yeah, pretty much.
So, Rune,
Yeah,
you
but
consume
I'm
any-
awake. I'm totally here. I'm paying attention.
did you consume any media?
Well, so as you know, my work to free time schedule is surprisingly robust. It's like you may or may not be involved in things that I'm into. Wahaha. But no, I in fact have been sparing myself the damage of modernity. Because I'm instead working my way through watching the original Mission Impossible, and the
Like
thing
the
that I come
60s
away
Mission
with,
Impossible?
the 60s Mission Impossible. I'm in season 2 when they swapped from the first guy to Peter Graves. And the thing is, I honestly think somewhere in the last 50 years we forgot how to make television. We forgot how to tell stories. Because I did in fact see something media related in passing that I didn't throw in the chat. If somebody else did, more power to you. But you know, the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming. I have friends who are watching it, and I have heard through the grapevine.
I did try and watch that. That was also bad.
I've tried to watch it and have been unsuccessful.
Well, yeah, but I am struck by something absolutely hilarious. So there is a fan favorite character, not even a character I particularly cared for, called Toph, who's blind for very special episodes. And in the live action show, they're going to make her not blind because they don't want to insult blind people. Even though that character being blind in the animated series was instrumental to her inventing a new form of the setting appropriate magic.
Also, it enabled her to have the skills to reach Aang and help him learn his earthbending.
Right. So
among
what's
like
the point?
Along with 1,000 other like plot points in the original series.
Here's the thing. Why did I start this by saying I'm watching Mission Impossible? Because when Mission Impossible came out, people thought it was crazy in Hollyweird. Hollyweird was like, well, you've got to move towards a found family narrative, and everybody's got to be falling in love, and you have to have a romantic interest, and there has to be deep emotional connections. And they were like, okay, so what's this Mission Impossible thing about? And it's like, it's episodic in nature, disconnected. It only uses a cycling set of characters occasionally, and the primary thrust is that they are spies doing a job, and it's about tradecraft and stakes. And people thought it was insane, and it lasted 6 fucking seasons, and had an early 90s, late 80s reboot, and led to a successful series of films. And it's like, you know how this shit is made. You made this shit years ago. Why the fuck can you not make good television now? What did you do? Did your balls fall off?
Because the people who are able to make good television aren't allowed to be in the industry anymore.
Right, but you and I have argued at great length about, but why? Because the obvious answer is, well, wait a minute. If you're losing money now, and you're losing money in the future, and you've been losing money for 10 years, why the flying fuck would you not let people that actually make programming?
Well, Amazon actually has a formula for that.
Do they use Google's AI to
no,
write all their
no,
characters?
They have a better formula for that.
I mean, I assume that mostly involves injecting pure methamphetamine directly into their testicles, but carry on.
No, it's actually a smarter thing than that. They say, okay, we need a certain percentage of garbage checkbox programming on our distribution channels that we make. So we're going to make a certain amount of that stuff, and we're going to throw in enough money to show that we care. And then we're going to have things like Jack Reacher that people actually want to watch. And that'll balance it out financially.
That sounds like a reach.
It doesn't.
I mean, it does according to Amazon.
Look, even if the books balance, and let's assume that they do, there's a problem. See, Jack Reacher season 3 ended, which means it's going to be at least another year before the next season of Jack Reacher, which is fine, but they have nothing to fill in that, 6-month gap, because I'm not watching their garbage.
I mean, they have other garbage that's popular,
I'm not gonna
like
watch
Invincible. Invincible's, doing good.
I watched some of it. I checked out. It's not good.
I checked out within a couple issues of the comics.
Because the comic's not very fucking good.
No,
for
it's
some
not.
reason for some reason the powers that be have decided that the go-to is to find something popular in regular media and then convert it to television, but they no longer have discretion on what things. Clearly, all the things need to be on television. So when you say, Invincible is niche and it's popular, but it's not that good, it's like, nope, put it on the TV. It doesn't matter. Especially if we can get J.K. Simmons, because everybody loves that guy.
So, Rune, I have a question for you. And this is actually something important. The found family trope. Do you know, like, the history behind that? Like, when that first became a thing that started infesting culture and cancerously, mutating it?
So, found family, you mean like just so I understand the terminology, you mean like the outcast who then finds their family like through some sort of journey or hardship or some bullshit? Is that what you mean by that?
Kinda. It's that your family isn't your actual family, but your association. So let me use a show you've probably watched. Have you watched NCIS?
No.
Okay, so NCIS is a crime procedural. The main character.
I know of it. I think it's dumb.
Yeah, well, the main character is the dad of the family, and all of his subordinates are his children. And once you realize that's what it is, the whole dynamics of the characters in the show all make sense. And these are all people who are working out their actual family issues through their found family and becoming better people because of their found work family.
Gotcha.
I'm going to presume the 50s, Ayrton, or Larry.
I mean, but when did you study this? Go ahead.
I was going to say, when did the first Fast and Furious movie come out?
No, this is well before Fast and Furious. The
Although
found
Fast and
family.
Furious is a version of it again.
Yes, the found family thing was a very huge influential aspect of Gen X related media. I know it was in some of the hippie related stuff, but it was kind of weird because the hippies were weird. And their concept of family was weird.
Well, that's why I said it. I would presume it started at least by the 50s, because it's got to come out of the fucking beatniks, who themselves were dipshits who didn't understand on the road.
So, like, you took formal classes on literature. Did you actually learn anything about the found family through school?
Well, no, my formal literature classes were about the French Renaissance. So no, I didn't do a lot of Americana.
And mine were like Shakespeare and shit. So
I mean, I read Shakespeare
was just
for fun as a family, so you know.
yeah.
Oh,
I
I
was
took
just
a Shakespeare class for fun. It was a blast.
I was just wondering if you had seen anything about that. I had learned anything about that in school. Now, I did want to bring something up that came up on the show last week. I want to revisit something about that. You said you did not like The Nine Gates with Johnny Depp, directed by Roman Polanski.
No, I do not.
Why did you not like that?
It is a movie that doesn't really go anywhere. It implies a lot of things are going on. It implies a potential cosmic evil and threat, but it never actually dips down into that. But the thing is that that's not even necessarily that it's a bad movie. That could just be a things that Johnny Depp likes to do in his body of work. Because I felt the very same way about From Hell, which I know is based on a comic book, but the film is its own thing.
So this is
Johnny
actually based
Depp
off of
likes to do big. I know it's based off an actual book, but continue.
Yeah, so this is like, from what I understand, it's like a third of the actual book. And I'm vaguely curious about the whole book, what it's actually like. But I mean, you know about
I mean,
the
I'd have to.
whole. Go ahead.
I'd have to read the book.
Yeah. But you know about the whole tarot journey mythology of the story of the tarot, right?
Right.
So all the cosmic stuff, that's less important. It's more about his growth and transformation through the cycle of the protagonist through the tarot journey.
I mean, that might be so, but that doesn't work in a Christianized imagery myth, which is a continuing problem in popular media. Is we have to turn everything that is paganistic or occult into Christian imagery so that the normies will accept it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski likes the devil.
I feel like that
Roman
hasn't
Polanski
been...
likes his daughter. I mean, what?
I feel like that was more of a trope, like in the '90s to like mid 2000s. Not so much anymore.
No, it was in the '70s and in the '80s.
Well, no, I mean like
90s,
that's where it ended. Kind of like the mid 2000s was kind of like the ending peak.
Well, right now, it's sometime in the 2010s is where it ended because they decided that the devil's an icon for homosexuality.
I mean, they're not wrong, technically, or theologically speaking.
The thing is, Larry, where are you going with this? Because we've transgressioned from where did found family come from to mythological constructs to trying to identify Satan as a gay icon. You're going somewhere. What are you putting down?
I didn't necessarily have a path with this. It was just something I was like remembering. I need to ask you about that on the show because that could be something potentially interesting. Because I actually like the movie.
I mean, different shows for different folks. I like the movie Begotten, but I wouldn't suggest it for anyone.
Yeah, no. But I was just asking that because like those they stood out to me like going, well, there's something odd, and I could have. But I thought, have I ever talked to Joe about liking this movie? I don't know if I have. So I was hoping it would be something that would be a good, productive well of content.
Well, the reason I say that I think it's just a Johnny Depp thing is because there's another Johnny Depp movie with metaphysic overtones that it's not bad, but it's not great.
Well, I mean, it's not good because it's Treebeard.
No. Give me a second.
From Hell's based off of Treebeard comic.
Right, but I was gonna say another film that Johnny Depp did that has metaphysical elements and is not bad but is not great is actually called Dead Man from 1995. A quote acid western.
Oh, I mean, that one.
Has he done a movie outside of Pirates of the Caribbean that isn't pretentious?
No.
Oh, he's done a lot of good movies outside of Pirates of the Caribbean that aren't pretentious.
I didn't say they couldn't be good, but I feel like any movie I've seen him in outside of that has been super pretentious.
No. Johnny Depp did two things that were halfway decent, both very early in his career. He's in not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
He is Nightmare on Elm Street. And he was in 21 Jump Street.
And he was on 21 Jump Street. The actual one, not those shitty movies.
Oh, and he was in the Hunter S. Thompson movie too, right?
Which is garbage. Because Hunter S. Thompson is garbage. I mean, take your pick.
I mean, you can't make a movie version of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas that's actually good.
I will say.
Thank you. I forgot the name of it. I've only seen it like once because somebody made me watch it.
I will actually adjust. There is one movie he made that I really liked, but it's a historical, so your mileage may vary. It's really you have to be into that kind of thing, and it's it's not quite pretentious, but it's dry. It's called The Libertine.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the second Earl of. I want to say Winchester, but I don't think that's right. No, it's the story of John Wilmot, the Earl of Rochester. It's about a drunken poet and debauched political commentator. So, Johnny Depp. Talking about Johnny Depp. Opposite John Malkovich.
Oh, jeez.
It's a good movie, but it's not for everyone. That's kind of Johnny Depp's career in a nutshell.
So we're gonna move into talking about one of the things that I knew we were gonna be talking about, and I didn't open with it because I wanted to be surprising for everybody. And now we get the screen share window to come up. Doot. Dear friends and partners, we are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdermal hematoma. He was 68. It is our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation. With great enthusiasm, also he would have had many more things to achieve. However, he's left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time. We inform you of this sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime. Funeral services will be held with his family and very few relatives. Following his wishes for tranquility and respectfully inform that we would not accept flowers, condolence gifts, visiting offerings, or anything else. Also, we ask that you refrain from conducting interviews with his family. Future plans for a commensurate gathering is not decided. We will let you know when it's confirmed. We deeply thank you for your understanding and support as always.
Should we play the song, Larry?
Which song?
The song from the Speedrunner that Jim played on his stream.
No, we should not, because that was awful.
I mean, I found it. I have it in the private chat.
No, I mean that's awful. We don't want to do that. It's an awful song. It made me feel unpleasant. So we want to talk about one of the living legends in the Japanese animation, video game, and manga industry passing away. And his death was so tragic. The Mexican drug cartels declared a ceasefire so that they could have appropriate mourning.
Which
And a
is
national day of mourning.
which
No,
is
and a national
fucking
day of
awesome.
mourning was declared by the country of El Salvador.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Let's see. I saw stuff about the Mexican cartel thing, but I wasn't sure if that was a meme or not.
No, it's real.
That's amazing.
So what do you think about Goku's dad passing away?
I mean, I'm gonna sound heartless, but this is how I feel about how anybody who I don't personally know and am close to when they pass away, like I don't really care.
I mean, admittedly, this man was so impactful that during a recent television arc of a Goku fight thing, Mexican strip clubs were offering free lap dances if Goku won a fight.
I mean, no, I mean, I'm not downplaying like his achievements and like that the Dragon Ball property was hugely influential, especially for people around my age. But still, like his death, like it has no personal effect on me, nor does any other famous person when they die. Like I really, really don't care. I mean, I get what he was in the industry for 45 years or something crazy like
Yeah.
that.
45 years.
Yeah, I mean his accomplishments are amazing. Like sure, I'm down to like honor his achievements and like the art that he did produce and stuff. But like leave the actual like difficult mourning stuff about somebody dying, leave it to like his actual like family and close friends. That's how I've always felt about this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like it's kind of I don't know, it's just it's silly to me, like when anybody like that dies and like everyone's like all like upset and crying and mourning. It's like I don't know, it feels like you're taking away from the people who actually knew said person, if that makes sense. I think it really started to bother me actually when Michael Jackson died, which happened to be the what was it, the 50th anniversary of Motown being founded, and me and some of my friends went to Detroit to go to the big Motown party because of course we did. And there were like people, there were not a lot, but there were people there like wearing like Michael Jackson t-shirts and holding pictures of him and like doing all this weird shit. I'm like, guys, like, yeah, his music was cool and he accomplished a lot, but you didn't know. Like, why are you reacting?
So
this is silly.
So here's the thing. I was talking to a friend of mine today. We were talking about ye old world of darkness in the olden times, because one of the reasons that modern versions of these tabletop games do not work is that they're really a snapshot of the 90s, and they should lean into the fact that it's the 90s and stop trying to update it to modernity when the politics and the culture are so different. And we think people honestly don't understand that. And I had to mention some pretty cataclysmic shifts in the culture up here in Washington and arguably the national stage. Because I remember, I was there, I was in school. I was a metalhead in the time of grunge, which was a horrible time to be. Because there you are, you like rock, and people are like, "Oh, you like rock?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love rock." And they're like, "Do you like Pearl Jam?" I'm
What
like,
if-
"Yeah, Jeremy's great." And then they're like, "Oh, let me tell you about insert droning, whiny piece of shit, garbage tier music." Kurt Cobain died. And it is a tragedy that Kurt Cobain died. Right?
You mean that Courtney Love killed him?
I mean, your mileage may vary. Let either take it to court or let it die, because it's not going to get resolved. The Seattle PD fucked it up. Imagine that. Seattle PD sucks. The thing is that there was a candlelight vigil for people for Kurt Cobain after his death on the morning, like the next Monday at my school, and I'm just looking at these sweater creatures, that are dressed like Doria Morfengurfer, who are all like, I love Kurt Cobain. It's like, you didn't fucking know him, and he was a local boy.
Hold up. Daria would not have liked Kurt Cobain.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about young women who wanted to be Daria, but couldn't even pull off Janine Garofalo.
And the funny thing about that is Cobain probably would have mocked people for doing that.
Right. I'm just saying it's the same thing. I understand people have grief. I understand people are upset. But the fact of the matter is that these were people trying to seize control of someone else's tragedy to make it about them. And it was disgusting, right? When Johnny Dio died, I was like, oh man, that sucks. And people are like, why? It's like, because now I don't get to play D&D with Dio. And they're like, what? And it's like, yeah, he was a D&D guy. That was on my bucket list. Get famous, get money, go play D&D with Dio. That's it.
Yeah, same thing when BB King died. I was like, oh man, that sucks, because now I'm never gonna get to see him play.
Well,
but you're not like yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, but you're not like up late nights going, I live in a post BB King world. I don't know how I can go on. It's like, are you going to hang yourself next? What's the plan exactly? Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. We're on YouTube. Are you going to unalive yourself because you can't use proper language?
No, rude. You just refer to it as Get Canadian Healthcare.
Or sewer slide.
I mean, I could also call it a surrender rope.
But I mean, but Rude, did you have any connection to the Dragon Balls?
Yeah, I fucking hated it, and then when I was older, I gave it a shot and went, it's all right, and then I got on with my life.
Now you see, I went through a period of my life where I watched a lot of it because I was working a third shift job at a gas station. And,
I mean, that is a good time to watch it.
I came home, had dinner for breakfast or breakfast for dinner, depending on your perspective. And I watched Dragon Ball Z.
All right.
I watched.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Larry had breakfast.
True. So I would watch Dragon Ball Z. I'd watch Sailor Moon. I would watch Mummies Alive, and I would pass out usually when the Starship Troopers cartoon came on. They were all in a block together.
I mean, it wasn't worth watching, so you're not missing out.
Right, but by the time that was on, I had finally gotten my brain relaxed enough to sleep. So I had a good connection to Goku, and then it was something fun to watch. If I was at home and I flipped on the Cartoon Network and they were playing a good part of Dragon Ball Z, I enjoyed that. I never really got into Dragon Ball. I understand why people like it and everything. It wasn't for me.
I actually kind of like Dragon Ball more than Dragon Ball Z, but it's kind of goofier.
And it has more off-color humor.
Yeah, that too.
So did any of you read any comic book type stuff?
I never read anything he wrote. I only watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
No, I mean
in general.
In comic stuff in general for show content.
No.
I'm still trying to slog through that John Michael Straczynski Captain America, where he's taken that weird idea that Neil Gaiman and Mark Waid came up for Captain America as a spiritual totemic icon and trying to make something out of it. And
Well,
Captain America.
Marvel's been trying to push that idea for a while, and I don't think it works. Because Moon Knight is a totemic image of Khonshu, and this means that the Punisher is a totemic icon of death, or at least the military-industrial complex. And it's like, I understand the theory, but no, guys, really, stop it. Get some help.
Wait. Are you saying that Grant Morrison was wrong that comic book characters are gods?
Always! He was always fucking wrong!
What, just because he was on LSD and Alan Moore was on mushrooms?
Yeah. They might be modern mythology, but they're not modern Greek mythology, you fucking Muppet.
Yeah, people don't understand what mythology means. It doesn't have to, be religious by nature.
But Superman died for your sins. Did he? Did he really?
I mean, there's the classic false god image, and people made that into a statue of Goku, which is apparently a hate crime in Mexico. They really love Goku in Mexico.
I know. I really need to buy a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt with all the people coming over the border just to keep myself safe.
Or, one of the ones for when Goku is used as an official icon for like a Mexican restaurant.
I like that.
So have you guys been on the whole YouTube drama about Gamergate 2?
I mean, didn't we talk about that last week? Has it escalated?
It's still going.
I saw it was a thing, and I immediately turned my phone back off. Like, I opened it up, looked at Twitter for a second, saw Gamergate 2, and said, nope. I'll come back in a couple days.
So, you know how Zoe Quinn had this boyfriend, right, who killed himself, who was part of the whole scheme? Well, turns out his sister is a corporate financier who's financed a lot of these companies that give sensitivity reviews for video games. And if you don't subscribe to their sensitivity reviews, then you get a whole bunch of people on Twitter dragging you.
Wait, are we going full, like, tinfoil hat, like Alex Jones schizo for Gamergate 2 this time?
I mean, here's the thing. We want it to be schizo stupid so we can laugh at it, but there's actual shit going on.
Yes. The person whose brother killed himself because of Gamergate 1 has financed several of the companies that have led to what is currently being called Gamergate 2.
Basically, people are shitting bricks because they discovered, shockingly, that the same people that they sought to ostracize for doing super sneaky back alley shit that was bullshit,
are still doing super
sneaky back alley bullshit, never got for it, and have in fact profited by it.
Huh.
In fact, a Kotaku journalist went onto a Discord and said, "Why is it none of you use your real name and location data?"
I can't imagine, Mr. Man.
I'll send him a picture of my driver's license. Come on, bro. Come on over. Let's have a drink.
She
Angie Dick. I mean,
and she stopped talking to me when I said, "Well, I mean, you can talk about me. I have my name and my location on my Twitter profile."
I'm pretty sure my location on my Twitter profile still says your mom's bed.
I mean, yes. And these wonderful human beings are also currently working on getting the Souls games to put in an easy mode for accessibility for the differently able.
They've They've been pushing
And
it for
this
literal years.
in
It's
the
not going to
Souls
happen.
game. Well, no, the company said, why would it be bad if we did that?
Because they want it to go away. It's embarrassing.
But I mean, if it doesn't go away and they do it to get more money.
Right. Because that's the thing. All of this is performative. It's never been about the subject. It's always been about how can we monetize it.
Exactly.
It's financial outrage.
It's like the black professor from the movie I was talking about, who pretended to be a gangbanger.
Right.
And it's like the fake princess and the fake rich people who stole the dragon's gold. It's all about being performative. None of it's real. None of it's authentic.
It's also like the whole quote, like culture war, like right wing people, like Ben Shapiro fucking rapping with what's his nuts. Like, as hilarious as that was, like, how about instead of like making, sorry, I'm gonna go on a diatribe because I'm sick of this shit. How about instead of making media in different genres, specifically poking the opposite directly of what the other side says, how about you just make good media and not put a message in it? Like, you don't have to put your goddamn gay ass message in every single fucking thing you do.
Well,
Either side, just make good shit.
Well, see, here's the thing, right?
Fucking
There's
sick
the
of it.
Dune.
Can't
There's the
stand this
Dune
fucking
movie.
culture war shit anymore.
Well, no, there's the Dune movies, right? The Dune movies have a message in it. Did you notice the message when you watched it?
I haven't watched either of them. I don't really care that much about Dune. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna sit down and try and read the books first instead of watch the movies.
So here's the thing that I think is pertinent. Although I appreciate Ayrton for once going off like a Joe. It's amazing. But serious talk here for a minute. I feel it is important to mention that, let's say about 10 years ago, I was in a conversation with my friend in Ireland. We were bitching about comics before I started working on The Executioner. That's right, guys. Who remembers that? But Joe had a failed comic. Woo. And one of my primary theses, one of my complaints, was how vapid and fucking empty media was in general. And I said comics should have messages. They should have meaningful stories, right? But the thing is that because I am not a leftmoid psychopath, right? When I say comics should have a message, I mean actual messages, meaningful undercurrents, should be thought-provoking. I'm not starting dialogues. I'm getting at serious stuff. So if I have a story where Spider-Man fights a bad guy, it's not, and Spider-Man swings in, ha ha, and punches a bad guy, ha ha, and gee, we're having so much fun in our red and blue. It's Spider-Man struggling to do what is right against the backdrop of everything that is wrong, with the added onus that failure means not just death for himself and for whoever is innocent nearby, but that he will let down the people he cares about, who will be grievously hurt by the fact that Peter Parker is not in their lives anymore. And that fucking matters. Right?
See, but I wouldn't call that I guess you could call it a message, but that's a story of human resilience.
It is definitionally, we're talking by the meanings of words, it is a message. Okay. What I didn't realize at that time, okay, which I have since learned by observation because I live in the world, I see what fucking goes on, was that people would use that potential not just negatively, not just to tell bad stories or have shit opinions, Because there have always been people that have like, I'm going to make a comic. What's your comic going to be about? Nazis are great. What the fuck is wrong with you? Those people exist, right? But stories where vapidness was the message, where the goal was to break down what was good, tell you that what was good was bad, and then try to convince you to adopt a position of no position except what is acceptable to the majority. But that's the world we live in. Because don't make waves, don't dissent, don't disagree. That could hurt people's feelings. You can only agree with this with the mass, and the mass says that these things are acceptable. What's worse is that it's us doing it to us, because as we have said, as has been said, as has been discussed for the longest time, those of us who were comics fans or music fans or of the wrong kind of music, or were movie consumers or video gamers, we were the outsiders that were the designated outsiders because we had bad hobbies, right? And so we were like, fine, fuck it, I don't care, I'll be over here doing my thing, leave me the fuck alone, right? And the people that insisted, well, you always have to smile because your frown makes people sad. And the people that said you got to make money because you want to be rich and you want to be ultra successful because you need them chains. All of those people were the fucking core consumerist slobs, the fucking preppies and the jocks and all those other groups that are perfectly happy both to do what they're told and to oppress you. Because it means that if they're part of the oppressive group, they're not part of the oppressed in their own minds. For the longest time, that was the divisor. But they slid into our media, they made it their own, and then they used our platforms to tell their stories, and their stories fucking suck! And they always have. Also, hi, it's been about an hour. Welcome to the Gospel of Comics.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't say much better than that.
Yeah, it was really nice and concise. I approve. So
it was.
I mean, I
Should we
wouldn't
watch
say it was
some cooking
concise. I
videos
could say I was
now?
rambling.
we'll pull up the cooking videos in a minute. We are approaching the 1-year anniversary of me meeting Ayrton McCartney, and I'm going to be back in Michigan.
I'm sorry.
And where are you at, Ayrton?
Southeast Michigan.
So you could show up at that hotel again and say hi.
Oh, cool.
I'm sorry.
No, meeting Ayrton is a fun time. It's enjoyable.
It was fun. We got to chill.
Yeah,
it's cool.
And I have found out that there's going to be a Comic-Con in my town of Sarasota, Florida, coming up in May. The first one in the first real kind of con in like forever.
Oh shit! Nice.
Like a local middle school has a con, but that's a weird experience. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds a bit sus.
I know it's sponsored by the school and supervised by the school.
Okay.
The most sus thing there, as I saw, is there was a host club slash maid club slash butler club group from high school there.
So what?
Yeah.
What?
A maid butler club. So there's a thing in Japan where there's maid cafes. You go in, everyone's a maid. And then somebody made butler cafes where you go in, if you're a woman, everyone's a butler. Right. Now imagine this is a high school anime club doing this, and they're at a middle school anime convention.
That strikes me as very inappropriate, despite there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, and I also communicated to them. I said, this is inappropriate, and several of the kids said, yeah, it is. We're sorry. Because I was able to be that weird liminal adult figure who could say, listen, I know what you're doing. I know all about what you're doing. I might even know more about what you're doing than you do, and I don't care for it.
and nobody quite had the wherewithal to say, Mr. Larry, why do you know what they're doing?
I actually did I ever tell you that story when I was in college and went to a convention up in Tampa.
No.
So in Tampa, they had a regular gaming slash etc. convention called Necronomicon. It still exists. And my roommate and I were showing up there because our Dark Ages Vampire LARP was having an event there. We had stopped playing in it a while ago, and we decided to have our old characters show up for the lulz. And I ran into my Japanese class from my college. They were all shocked and surprised to see me there. And then, like, random ass groups of people were going, "Oh my God, Larry! I haven't seen you in years. How are you doing, brother?" And that happened like 5 or 6 times while I was in the line with people from my Japanese class.
Mm.
Apparently, I hide my power level well with people. And when I was at a youth group convention, I looked at some young people who were doing some things from 4chan, and I said, "Stop being underage B." And then all of the young people immediately started acting more appropriate in my general vicinity.
Oh, they all
'Cause they were,
immediately look very they all look very shamefaced that you know B. How dare you?
well, worse that I was accusing them of being underage B, because not only do I know B, I know they, as underage individuals, were on B.
Right.
Well, also, you're not supposed to talk about B.
I mean, that you're only not supposed to talk about B during raids. That is a popular misconception from new fags.
See,
They don't
I just
understand the
really admit.
rules.
See, I just really admit that I only floated around X, and X is now no longer a place to hang out. So,
I mean, you would still
eh.
hang out on X. X is fine.
There's nothing good on X anymore. At least there wasn't when I was last there.
And you see, the thing is, I was on new. And most people don't even know what new is. Do you know what
I
new
mean,
is,
new is not
Aaron?
related. I mean, I'm assuming new is related to it's not old.
No. New was the original news and currents event tab. So new was poll before poll was poll. And you
I think
know
that was
how
I think that was before I discovered 4chan.
right. So you see, you know how everybody started LARPing as Nazis on poll, and all the people who are LARPing about being Nazis became Trump supporters?
Yeah.
That was their third time at that bit where they changed their political ideologies around,
Oh, imagine my shock.
including the first time where they're playing anarcho-capitalist, paleo-conservative aristocrats.
What?
God
Yes,
damn it! Does it literally sounds like a joke.
but it's not. It's a thing that happened.
How can you be an anarcho-capitalist paleo-conservative?
Very easy.
Well,
It's all
I mean,
about
first
money.
of all, paleo-conservative would refer to the first conservatives who were in the cave, and we're
Mm.
trying to explain trickle-down economies to other cavemen, because it's not about the fact that you're going to get eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. It's that I'm going to send you to get eaten by the saber-toothed tiger so that the next guy doesn't.
Well, I mean, you can take it back that far, but I thought paleo-conservative normally referred to like 50s Republican nuclear family sort of politics.
Well, no, because that was just regular conservative. The paleo conservatives were the people back then who were saying, like, listen, civil rights for women and minorities is probably going too far. And, they're the kind of people who said, listen, sure, what Mr. Hitler is doing is very unconscionable, but we shouldn't be getting involved with that. And I mean, we don't have a problem with the Jap because we're just putting them in camps. So we don't need to get involved with what they're doing.
Okay, so I was off by a decade.
I know, many of those people continued having those opinions and paying Ron Paul to write those opinions in the Ron Paul newsletter.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And Ron Paul allowed them to use his name because the check cleared. So whenever you hear about racist things that Ron Paul used to write, he wrote that because somebody paid him to use his name.
I don't remember any of those writings, and I've been.
You should look it up because those were things people were trashing Ron Paul about during his last presidential campaign and the one before that. And the cherry on top for the fact that Ron Paul had racists using his name in his personal newsletter because they paid him. The person who did that was the same campaign staffer he used during his first presidential campaign as a libertarian to investigate why the party lost so much money and nobody could find where they went to. Their decision was to blame the black lady. And that's part of why American politics is so tainted. So,
was that another fucking bird?
Look, Ayrton can't get to his ceiling. It's really high. He doesn't have a ladder.
God, it is. Damn it, Ayrton.
It's quite a tall ceiling.
I am gonna beat you like an unwanted redheaded Irish stepchild. I'm telling you.
So,
you know what ginger is an anagram of, right?
I do not.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, I still have cooking videos.
Show me what you got.
Show us on the doll where the cooking video touched you.
All right, so I have eggs, the world's strongest cup of coffee, or was this one some sort of mashed potatoes? What do you want?
Let's do the strongest cup of coffee.
Okay.
As a coffee aficionado, this is relevant to my interests.
So pull that vidya up, sir.
Oh, hold on. StreamYard is different than the last time I used this. Okay, there we go.
All right. And get to stage. There we go. Oh, it's Nescafe. We're already out to a good start.
By the way, this is the coffee that I drink.
I mean, Nescafe is not terrible.
It's really not, as far as instant coffee goes.
Strongest cup of coffee.
I mean,
sometimes
if you're not a
in
retard,
the morning,
let's be
super
clear.
Simple. Boil up some water and pour it into the jar. If you don't sleep at night, this is exactly what you need to get the day started.
Yeah, that's gonna destroy your asshole.
You can drink it straight from the jar or put it in the glass. But how does it taste? Let's make the world.
Yeah, that sounds
what's the
right.
next one?
All right, so you want eggs or creamy garlic mashed potatoes?
Huevos.
I don't speak Mexican.
Eggs. He's saying eggs.
Okay. Let's see.
What the fuck? No. 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 Take off the plastic, you stupid fuck!
I was just about to ask if you noticed something about that baloney.
Take off the plastic!
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
I don't think it gets better, Larry.
Those aren't even cooked, man. You gotta wait for that shit to brown. I mean, it's already salted to the point that it's gonna taste like salt. You didn't cook it, asshole! It's still fucking raw. It's fucking raw, you donkey! Is that chili powder or is that paprika? What do you want to think?
That's I think it's chili powder, obviously.
And now there's sardines.
Sardines.
That are also
First of all,
not cooked.
First of all, why are you leaving egg in the? The fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you smoking? His taste buds have to be dead. They Sudoku'd themselves.
Sewer slide.
Roll up the next one, Aaron.
I think Rune's still going on this one.
No, we can move on. Let's the sooner we're done with this, the sooner we survive. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's see.
White tipping, I ain't even do nothing.
No. No. I am a potato. This is offensive to my people. It's more like fucking Pringles grits. What the fuck?
I mean,
I like
Pringles
Pringles. Why
gruel.
would you do this to Pringles?
I mean, they're potato chips, and he mashed them.
They are. But the thing is, you don't need to cook them. They're already cooked. You're just making a paste out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Get an actual fucking potato.
Do you got another one, Aaron?
No, that was it. I thought I had another one, but I can't find it.
Well,
That's what
Aaron,
she said.
next time you show up, we need to go hard and dense on the food.
I mean, Masiokas has some new videos out. I don't think Rune knows about him.
I don't.
Pull it up.
All right, hold on. I gotta find it. Let's see. Fuck, I can't remember his. There it is. Okay, so do we explain this person to Rune, or do we just play a video?
Just play it. It's self-explanatory.
I mean, there's gonna be questions after, man.
Let's see. Ooh. So there's a video called A New Computer. I haven't watched that one yet. Or Aliens in the Kitchen. And
I mean,
this
obviously Aliens in the Kitchen.
I don't know what the fuck this is. What the... Okay, hold on. All right. Let me know when to hit play.
Do it.
Well, hello everyone. Apparently I'm on a spaceship. I mean, obviously I'm not. I'm actually using these virtual reality thingies, which is actually kind of fun. I mean, it's sort of disorienting, but the funny thing is, I move my fingers and they sort of, kind of, I guess, sort of move at the same time, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, like, you forget like that you're not actually in a spaceship, and you start running to go sit on the sofa or something, and you actually run into something in the real world, and you hurt yourself. Like controller thing.
We're gonna skip forward a little bit.
First thing count. Yeah, I'm back in the real world. Isn't that funny? All right, so let's rescan our.
So this is his actual kitchen, Rune. Just take this in.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge.
We did that before, but the wall here is sort of
This is actually cleaner than the last time I saw it.
It's more or less okay, I guess. All right, let's complete. All right. So I'm in my normal spot, but I'm gonna be invaded by aliens. It's actually really hilarious. Pesky space puffins are about to flood into your areas like pieces everywhere.
Okay, this one's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Damn it.
I was disappointed. I was expecting more out of Aliens in the Kitchen.
So was I. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Woke mashed potatoes. This one was good.
Let's do it.
This will give you a better better glimpse into the insanity that is Masiokas Rune. Let me know when we're good to go.
I mean, I'm waiting for you to put the thing up.
I'm waiting for Larry to put it up. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, got some potatoes.
Okay.
Look at that. Still got all the soil on it.
I mean, that's why you wash them, asshole.
Too much garden or something. Gee. Oh my god, look at this one.
It's just rust. It's fine. Wash it.
God.
Fucking wash it.
Thank you.
He's Canadian, by the way, Brune.
There we are.
Okay, that doesn't mean he's not an asshole. It doesn't mean he doesn't know how to work a potato.
Where I ideally won't forget for a year, and then find rotten.
Don't put your potatoes under your fucking sink with all that cleaning shit. Use both hands,
You don't want
dude.
to be eating dirt.
The other one's holding the camera.
I know.
Well, we're gonna remove the skin anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But you need to use both hands. I mean,
So,
yeah, you
we're
can
gonna be
skin them, I
making
guess.
mashed potatoes.
Have you ever skinned a potato with one hand?
I have
there was
not,
a time that
I'm
I
smarter
was
than that.
learning I thought it was actually smashed potatoes, so I kept
I-
saying smashed potatoes.
I actually
People
prefer
were kidding
to
until they
stab
realized
them
I was
and then
not.
bake
Someone had to
them.
correct me.
Because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
easier. Takes
So
about an hour.
I'm gonna remove the skin and yeah, bang it, man. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit too difficult to do.
That's
with
not how
one
you
hand,
do
so
that, asshole.
I'm just gonna skip and come back in a few minutes. Okay. All right. See you guys. All right. So
He did a decent job skinning the potatoes.
Well, yeah, because you hold them in one hand, you skin with the other.
That
Not
is
a
how you
cake.
do it.
Is to cut them in like really, really tiny pieces.
Not with that knife.
I'm gonna get a better knife.
That knife is not sharp.
Try this one.
I mean, even if it is, that's not the knife you use.
Because
that's a
if you
better
cut, If you
knife.
cut them in like pieces that are too big,
I mean, that's a
it's gonna,
butcher
like,
knife, isn't it?
not boil properly.
It is.
Yeah, you need a chopper.
How does it work? Come on. Yeah, man. All right.
And those are way too thick.
Wait a minute. All right. Yay. Ouch.
Put down the fucking camera, you cuck.
I heard a story about a restaurant in Italy, like where like people like in the village, they were complaining.
So Rune, before he started filming on a phone, he filmed on a camcorder, and when he needed both hands, he would stick the viewfinder in his mouth to hold it so he could use his other hand. This dude's been making videos like this for what, 15 years, Larry? Something like that.
And has learned
Something like
nothing
that.
of his theoretical art of how to do it better.
Yeah.
I think their cats were disappearing. It was a long time ago, and eventually they found the cats. Like they were literally being kidnapped by some guy for his restaurant, and like the cats were on the freezer, and he was serving rabbit, but it wasn't actually rabbit. Like people thought they were eating rabbit.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
actually
believe that story.
stray cats from the village. Anyway. It's what happens, when people like they let their cats roam freely outside, like if you lose your cat, you want to know where your cat is, well, just go to a restaurant, ask for rabbit meat, and it might be your little kitty there.
If you lost your cat, go to a restaurant and order the rabbit so you can eat your cat instead of find it.
I mean, maybe if I was going to an Asian restaurant, but I don't think I'd get that problem in an Italian one.
That's solid Canadian logic right there.
On the plate, looking at you.
As an
So
aside,
angry
is
you
it
haven't
like
fed him
daylight
'cause you know
savings
how
time or some
cats
shit?
get angry.
Did we
That
spring
was
ahead?
yesterday. That was yesterday.
That's why my clocks are off. Okay.
We don't feed them, so anyway. Yeah. That's kind of gruesome, actually.
And yet you shared it with the
I
world.
don't know if the story's true, but people told me they seem to think it was true. Anyway, like this old legend from the village, there's another story. It's like this is from a long time ago.
Just tell me,
I'm
buddy.
talking
Do you
like
come from
1910s.
Letterkenny?
And there was a burglar, and someone whose house was being burglarized basically went under the bed sheets and shit, I think it fell on the floor there. Like he went under the bed sheets and just like pretended to be a ghost, and the burglar got scared and ran away. But you know, I mean, you would never think of doing that today, but maybe back then, I mean, people were more like superstitious or something. But
so Rune, since you live in the Pacific Northwest and can't own actual firearms, just pretend to be a ghost if somebody breaks into your house.
No. Rune lives in Washington State, a state that is still fairly vigorous in gun rights.
I thought Washington has magazine capacity bans.
They might. But we also have open carry.
I thought you can't have more than 10 rounds in a magazine in Washington.
That's possible, but you know, you just have extra magazines in your pockets.
That's fair. Anyways.
Yeah. You don't need guns. You just need a bed sheet and make ghost noises or whatever.
That might work in some inner city urban areas if you put a white sheet over your head to scare off an intruder.
All right, last potato.
You see that joke there? You see how I'm not making it? Right. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right. We're gonna put them in there. Can put the garlic, but I don't know if I have any left. I don't think so anyway. Put all this stuff in the water. And
now, Rune, did you notice something? Let me back. Oh, I went back too far. Hold on.
All right. Put all this stuff in the water.
Do you notice that blue can sitting on his counter?
The WD-40?
Yeah.
That's not actually as offensive as you think it might be.
You use WD-40 regularly in the kitchen that you need to keep it on the counter?
I can imagine a scenario where I might use it and then put it down, planning to move it later, and then forget about it.
I can't enlighten me.
You could actually use WD-40 for treatment of arthritis.
What?
It has a anti-inflammatory property if applied to the skin.
Yeah, you just use it. You just use it on them barnacles so that they don't sting no more.
I don't believe either of you.
This is all perfectly logical.
And some people don't boil them that much. I like to boil them a lot because unless you have like a special machine to mix it, there's gonna be like little pieces of it, and it's disgusting. So
get a masher, you fucking mongoloid. Use some fucking elbow grease. It's one of the few times in our society you are allowed to destroy things with your anger, and no one will complain about the loudness.
And pushing them down. I don't want to die. Back or something. Anyway. All right. Shit, salt. Put a bit of salt.
A bit.
It's raining salt. It's raining. All right.
I'm not actually going to make the argument that you don't need salt, but I am going to say people oversalt the materials way too fucking much.
Oh yeah, like a
from
pinch.
1985. The oven still works, but I got to repair the thingies there. So let's put a 10. Ah, shit! I pushed the wrong Fuck. There you go. Anyway. Oh my god. So yeah, I got something in the mail I thought was kind of funny. It's they have the venture elections in the Law Society of Ontario, so they sent me this thing. 2033 Ontario venture elections. Stop bloat, stop creep, stop woke.
Okay, just get on with your cooking. This part's boring.
Are in Quebec, Canada. So the Law Society people aware of laws that
I mean, I appreciate that there are Canadians that are also tired of Justin Trudeau's shit.
on the rest.
Come on.
Won't discriminate.
It's like since the Queen died and since Princess Di died, nobody knows what to do with themselves. So they're like, let's pay attention to everybody else's monarchs like we care, which we don't.
What the paralegals' opinions that society?
I'm pretty sure we fought a war to not care about it.
I know, but there are a lot of Americans that seem to be confused on the idea.
Yeah, something. There's very little.
I mean, they're also the ones that think the Constitution is meant to give us rights and not tell the government what they can't do.
The point is not. It's funny, Nico.
Okay.
All right, so it's been boiling for long enough. I got some cheese that we can put in there. Let's see. One day I'm gonna chop my finger off while making a video, and then you go through so much trouble to make a YouTube video. Like you sacrifice your own finger, to make a YouTube video, and then YouTube is like, that's offensive. They delete it, because it's like blood and maybe I'll just tell them it's fake or something. But anyway.
So YouTube might ban me because I might cut my finger off, so I'll just tell them it's fake instead of get a tripod.
Legally, it's better not to chop off your own fingers while you're cooking. I remember a show. I think it was like House Kitchen, with Gordon Ramsay, and they had to cook something really faster, and someone actually cut himself, and it was when he gave the plates to the judges, there was blood on the plate, so he was disqualified. Anyway, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, no shit. Is that cheese, by the way, that he's cutting?
Where
yes, and throwing into the boiling water.
You have the special that costs $1,000.
No.
And it says the chef, so Gordon orders that, and it's delicious. So Gordon's like, wow, that was really good. I'd like to meet the chef. And then the waiter's like, yeah, about that, the chef is dead. And Gordon like, what do you mean the chef is dead? And the waiter's like, well, you just ate him. That's the special. It says chef on the menu. You ate the chef. Anyway, that's weird cannibalistic fantasy right now. Wait.
This Canadian schizo making Blair Witch style cooking videos just said he has a cannibal fantasy.
It's perfectly reasonable.
All right. So
look, if you live in Canada, the Wendigo is everywhere.
This little,
it's true. It's true.
Fishnet thingy.
It's not a fishnet. You read a fucking book.
Let's go.
None of that's cooked. None of that is fucking cooked.
By the way, there's just 4 squares of cheese in the boiling water.
That's how I know it's not cooked. I know it's not cooked because he threw fucking cheese in it and the cheese isn't melted. People eat like this.
You always saw in all the videos, Gordon Ramsay always called every woman my darling. At some point, someone's going to be angry. So we're gonna put some more.
Because it's English and it's
I
an
love
idiom.
how the
You
steam
dumb fuck.
has steamed over his. I love how the steam has fogged up his camera lens. And he's just going with it. It's my favorite part of this video.
Oh, just sunflower oil. Every woman he calls my darling, whether like she's 65 or 21. I mean, like they're all my darling, and some of them like they really like it. You know, like Gordon has a nice ass, well, I mean not that nice.
Have you ever checked out Gordon Ramsay's ass, Rune? Can you confirm whether it's nice or not?
You see it in in his hotel. He always shows his ass. Anyway, whatever. Enough about Gordon's ass. Let's make the mashed potatoes. Wow. And it's really smelling like potatoes.
It's not mashed potatoes, man. After this show, I'm gonna go make food, and I'm actually going to cook food like God intended, and it's gonna be good. I shelled out a little extra today. I got those cheese bratwursts.
Aw, shit. I love those things.
Oh, yeah. Right. I hadn't had them in a couple of years. I'm like, you know what? I want to get some cheese bratwursts.
I like the cheddar jalapeno ones.
All over the place.
I didn't get the hot ones. Anyway. Wait a minute. Pause and roll back. Wait a minute. No, go back and enhance.
I use a spoon.
Okay.
Once in a while I have my utensils there, but sometimes they're all over the place.
All right.
Bathtub and everything.
That's his fucking bathroom.
It is.
Why is his bathroom next to his kitchen?
I mean, he could be living in a modular home, bro.
I understand, but you don't want the shit that's including the shit that's in your bathroom adjacent to your kitchen.
Well, look, the stuff from the kitchen makes it to the bathroom anyway. He's just speeding up the process. He's being more efficient.
Yeah, he washes the pots in the tub because it's more room. He's also defrosted a hunk of beef by putting it on some paper towel on the toilet seat and lighting the paper towel on fire.
I am now deeply encouraged to get my shit together, clean up my kitchen a bit, because I would not film my kitchen looking like a disaster and then film one of these things on show for you guys where someone actually cooks properly. Fucking idiots. You're also scratching the shit out of your pan, asshole.
Tiny pieces because I'm just using like a spoon and a fork. I'm not using like the proper equipment.
You've never used the proper equipment in your life.
That stays in there, but whatever.
See, I actually own a masher. I could mash my own potatoes. I choose not to because it's fucking labor intensive. Yeah, add more salt, motherfucker. Right. It needs more. Why is heart disease a problem in America? Pieces. I can't fucking imagine.
And he's in Canada.
All right. So, guess we're going to name this the woke mashed potatoes in honor of the Law Society of Ontario. And
oh, you mean because they taste terrible, they're not cooked, and they don't actually give you any nutrition? That sounds totally believable.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, lie about it. Lie, you stupid fuck.
Make sure you make yourself
you human pig.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Wait. What? What
Hold
the fuck is coconut beef?
Oh, hold on, Rune. So my favorite one I was gonna pull up for you real quick. It's called coconut bread. Just give me a sec. Larry, I'm pretty sure Larry knows which one I'm talking about. That is my favorite video of his.
Is it bread topped with coconut?
Oh, just you wait. Let's see. Is this one? It's that I don't know if that one's actually on his. Okay, here it is. Yeah, that one's not on his actual channel anymore. Okay, Larry, sharing screen. Let me know when to hit play.
Doot. You are ready, sir.
All right, so we're gonna be making a secret recipe today. It's kind of secret people kill for. Basically, it's coconut.
I think it's a recipe people kill over, not for, but go on.
I think people have died making it.
Bread. Coconut. But first, I want to tell you about something I was thinking about. You know, the law of gravity, the way it works, you lift it up, and like you take this and you lift it, but like part of like my fingers is like attached to the little thingy, and like another finger kind of pulls it up, so like even if my finger was completely attached to this, like even if my finger was fused to this, my other fingers could still lift. So if you sit down and you put your hand on your foot and you start pulling, if you're strong enough, you should be able to lift yourself and just.
And that's how he got hired to work at SpaceX.
Fly, So I think you got to be pretty strong, but it's not because your arm is attached.
Larry, we got to keep this video.
Technically,
shouldn't
be.
You know why we need to keep this video?
Just as it's not because.
Why?
Because if anyone ever tries to come to me with a character sheet that has the one intelligence, I'm going to make them watch it. And then they're going to make their sheet over again.
Or something. Anyway, all right.
I mean, this guy has a 2.
Wait. Was that a knife sitting in a toaster?
Yes.
Probably.
This guy doesn't have one intelligence room. He has a 2.
It's very difficult when you have a coconut because you gotta open it.
Who did he borrow the other dot from?
Hold on, Rune.
No,
pay attention.
Don't try to knife the fucking. No.
Don't you keep a whacking stick on your counter?
Yes, but that's not what I mean. I'm saying don't try to knife the coconut. The coconut will win.
He's hitting it with a stick, like from the yard.
We don't do that either. You have a specific item for this.
He does. He does. Just wait.
I'm gonna make a hole in my floor. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the guy who invented coconuts was thinking. I mean, he should have.
What, you mean God? God invented coconuts, fucko.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
let's see.
Did God invent coconuts?
Are we implying Satan invented the coconut for laughs?
No. I mean, this whole planet was made by space aliens. Don't you remember Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I'm sorry, my thetans are not high enough for that.
So, Rune, you need to pay attention to where he's reaching for now.
Under his sink, where you keep all the cleaning supplies next to that pile of garbage.
There. All right. There it is. I think I can open
what? No, this is staged. These are staged. This motherfucker came up with this.
I don't think they're for how long this guy's been doing it. I don't think they're staged.
No one keeps a fully prepared, fully sheathed katana under their sink.
I do.
This guy does.
Don't you fucking lie, Larry. Are you telling me you have a katana in your house?
After watching this video that
under your sink.
Yes.
Why do you have a katana under your sink, Larry?
It's not my kitchen sink, to be realistic. It's my bathroom sink.
Why is it in your bathroom and why is it under the sink?
To open coconuts with.
Not to open coconuts with. It's there in case I need it.
The bathroom katana. In case the toilet ninjas attack you, is what you're saying.
All right.
It's not going to work. Even if it does, it's going to make a giant fucking mess.
Oh, a little piece got torn off. Let's try again. Ah, shit. Oh, this thing is all dirty.
Remember, when you were dating chicks, he was studying the blade.
Man, I know weebs. I know weebs that would be crying.
Where's the other half go? There it is.
No! No! No!
I'm crying, but that's mostly from laughing at this guy.
Why is it red? See that? This. Oh, it smells bad. Ah, what the hell? Ah, looks like it was rotten. For heaven's sake!
How would you know?
How fast do coconuts rot? Look at this.
It's a seed, man.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
No, your kitchen is disgusting, sir.
Clean this thing. Wait a minute. But we're gonna do the recipe anyway, but it really smells bad. You know, when you buy a coconut, you usually gotta, careful not to cut myself. You usually gotta, eat them quickly, or else it's gonna rot.
Well, how long have you had it?
So that, you gotta buy more because, it expires quickly. Just so that, they buy cars so that as soon as you got an accident, it kind of blows up so that you got to buy another one. All right. Okay, this is clean. All right. Now for the coconut. Man, it's all wet now. It looks like the little, liquid got all over the place. That's the thing I hate about coconuts. There's always this little liquid that flies all over the place whenever you open it.
Oh, you mean the milk? The part you're supposed to drink, fucko?
All right. Okay. So in order to make a coconut bread, you need bread. Wait, I got some here. All right, bread. Yeah, pull this under my feet, or else I'm going to slip and fall because it's all wetty.
Yeah, mind the blade.
All right, doesn't go.
Don't cut yourself on the fucking katana.
Aside. Yeah. Disgusting coconut liquid.
No, you're a disgusting human.
So
and you should and hero in Minecraft.
Look at this.
I mean, this
I hit
is
the coconut,
a bit.
the stuff just got detached. Wonder if it still works. We're gonna try it. Turn the right one this time. Some time ago, I was trying to light this thing up, and I accidentally lit that one, and there was a fire and a flashlight burn and all that. So, let's see. Man, have you ever seen this? Look at this. It's all red and, damn. Not do that. All right, so we're gonna take a slice of bread.
It's like trying to FaceTime with your grandparent.
Okay, so we got this thing going. Need the plate. All right, let's start here. Coconut and a slice of bread. The thing is, like, it's like butter, basically.
Did you hear that, Rune? Coconuts are like butter, basically.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, we gotta melt the coconut so that we can, put it over this, like, if it was butter or peanut butter or whatever. Okay, let's. I want to get it to melt. Ugh. Damn, it smells so fucking bad. Just gonna get the bad smell. God damn it. It's probably gonna work if the coconut, isn't rotten.
It's probably gonna work. It's a secret recipe people kill
Anyway,
for.
ideally it should melt, and when it melts, you kind of just put over the bread and all that. Wait, maybe. No, I got this thing. Some water. Maybe with boiling water it's gonna melt. And when it melts, you just kind of like pick it up and pour it. Man, you see that? It's all like pink here, or red, or.
So, while this numbnut is continuing to be a subhuman piece of garbage, I want to mention that this is a real problem that supposed actual cooks have. I don't make generic, mundane, fucking peasant food just because it's easy and I'm lazy. I make peasant food because it is easily understood. A lot of people want to try to make really fancy shit and don't understand how to prepare it. If you've never worked with coconut before, don't make fucking coconut.
So we're gonna wait until it boils.
But Rune, you just have to melt it and spread it on the bread. It's very easy.
Well, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of no, fucking coconut spread. Okay.
Like this is.
I mean, they have coconut oil.
Yeah.
Sure, coconut oil, which involves squishing the coconut down and extracting the oil. I'm pretty sure it doesn't involve boiling it to apply it to bread.
And, super machines, like Sega Saturn or whatever. But back in the old days, kids, they could have all the fun they want with just little things like that, and just you put this little thing
This
here.
man has so much tism. His tism has tism.
An Indian tent, and you're.
To say nothing of the fact he's literally playing with the filth in his house.
Also, it's 10 minutes to make coconut butter. The right way.
Really? Does it involve boiling it?
Let me look at the recipe I found online.
Well, if anyone knows a way to melt coconuts, you can tell me, and
No.
that's the way to make coconut bread. You melt the coconut.
I mean, for one, that water is not boiling. That water is barely
All right, so see you
simmering.
guys.
Jesus Christ.
And the reason I don't think this is a bit is because he's been doing these videos for like 15 years and they're exactly the same.
Old YouTube was wild.
That's true.
But
And
anyway.
also, Rune, he doesn't actually live there. He lives in like a pretty decent apartment, and he just owns this decrepit house that he goes to and does projects on and films his insane videos in.
I am offended that this man has the money enough to own a property.
Well, everybody, on that note, good night.
Good night, everybody.